Welcome to Bass and Boundaries podcast. I'm your host, Amy G, and this is your one-stop shop for all things mental health and music. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bass and Boundaries. Just admiring the new noise on the recording software. I'm joined today by somebody that, again, I've listened to for a long time, and just like having a pre-chat now, I'm like, wow, I cannot believe you're here. So hello, my lovely. This is Will, or he goes by Keeno. Hello.
Hi, yeah, how you doing?
I'm very well.
Thank you for having
me. No, you're welcome. So I saw that you were talking about online about things that you do with like events, and that's what drew me to having this conversation, because there's so much going on in the drum and bass world that I think some of the underdogs need to be given a chance to talk about that. So I'd love to know what you've been up to and talk about why you do what you do.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to have, the opportunity to speak to maybe a new audience. So if you don't know who I am, hi. But I started my own label like basically 4 years ago now. And before then I had a live stream brand, and we did events that we live streamed at the same time. So like 2016 was when I started the Bristol Mix Sessions, which literally just started as a Facebook live stream.
Yeah.
Back in the days when Facebook would notify every single one of your followers that you were live. And we did a few of those, and then the first birthday we did live in a club. So we did a multicam live stream in a club in 2017, which was pretty mad, to be honest, looking back. And we live streamed 5 hours of music. We had Kyrist, Walker, Grey Code, and me. And it was a £5 entry, cash only, on the door. And it was on a Thursday or a Wednesday night, and we had people queuing out the door from 6 p.m. It was like the most nuts thing ever. And I was like, okay, well, clearly I should start doing some more events. So we did. And then COVID happened, which was wonderful. And that was a bit of a setback to the growth. And it meant that we had to kind of start from scratch, basically. And then by the time COVID was over and my fourth album, I Live, I Learn, came out, I was ready to take my own music into the world and start my own label. And it felt like a natural transition to keep running those events. I had a venue, I had a team of people that were happy to help, and an audience that were local and were happy to do it. So we used Basement 45, big up Mark, as the label launch, and that sold out. And then we did 1 year of Keeno Music, and that sold out at Basement 45. And so we were like, okay, well, we need other venues now. We need other spaces to grow. We need other things. We need other cities. Let's explore, new horizons. Yeah. And the rest is kind of history, as it were. The reason why I started the brand in the first place is pretty much just an avenue for my music, which I don't know if you have maybe noticed, but like I'm in that period in a lineup where I'm like kind of not heavy and not liquid and not a warm-up act, but not a headliner sometimes, and
somewhere in the
middle stage. And I wouldn't be like playing before Sota, although I have played before artists like AMC and stuff like that, it's not like that will never happen. But as a promoter, you're not looking to put Cameron Crooked and Keeno necessarily right one after the other, that you're looking for a nice arc of energy. And so I'm like, okay, well, if it's gonna be harder for me to make room for myself in other people's lineups, then why bother spending all of that energy cold calling and pushing agents to do this and this, when I could just go away and do it myself?
Yeah, fair play.
So that's what we did. And with all the experience of the Bristol Mix Sessions behind me, the events have done incredibly well. We sold 2,000 tickets last year in 4 different cities. And our live shows sold out 5 months early at XOYO.
That's incredible.
So this is all in-house. This is just me. Like, I have people that help me do X, Y, and Z, but like, I'm the one designing the flyers, I'm the one putting the tickets on Skiddle, I'm the one booking the artists, I'm signing the contracts, paying the deposits, sorting the venue. Like, it's me. Like, there are no other secret investors or whatever, or like booking agents or anyone like that. It's just me, and it's been enormously exciting, and I'm so gassed that it's working. So I just want to keep going.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's like, because we were talking about that just before about recording, about that, how the fact that you do everything. And do you not find that, do you get burnt out or just get exhausted with it all? Or is it just something that you're very passionate about doing, so you don't care?
It's kind of halfway house. I have been
Yeah.
burnt out. I definitely, last year especially, I was not that well, like physically and
Yeah.
mentally, and it was tough. I went through a few months where I just had to take it slower,
Yeah.
and allow my body to come back down from months and months of hard work. But these are natural things. Like, I try not to overanalyze or overreact to these things. Everyone gets stressed, everyone gets overwhelmed, everyone takes on too much responsibility, and learning how to navigate those situations is really what matters. And
Absolutely.
so I do get stressed and I do get overwhelmed, and there are lots of things that annoy me on a daily basis. But at the end of the day, how many people get to make their music exactly how they want and run events exactly how they want with complete autonomy? Not many.
Absolutely. Like, and I think there's a recurring pattern with DJs and producers and, and the like that I've spoken to, and everyone at some point has had that period of burnout, because the way I describe it is like you're a hamster in a wheel. You're constantly going. You have to find the time, don't you, to kind of have that rest, because otherwise you do become that constant, the hamster in the wheel effect, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways I navigate that, really. One is through variety.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can make music, I can do graphic design, I can work on social media stuff, I can do admin, and there's lots of things I can be doing.
Yeah.
And the other way I combat that is just by experiencing my life, like living life, instead of feeling like the hamster wheel is the only thing in the world that you should be
Yeah.
doing. Like, it's okay to just get off the wheel, for example, if you're using
Yeah.
that metaphor, and just go for a walk or take yourself out for lunch or whatever you need to do to just unwind a little bit and reset. Because it's the constant movement that really starts to build the stress. Like, if you allow the time to relax, then your body will do the rest.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes the brain gets in the way, though.
I know the feeling. I think, like, when you've got an overactive brain, it can be a little bit overwhelming, a little bit overbearing. And I think like I was having a discussion about this the other day with another artist, that we were talking about, like, when you've got, like, to where you are in the drum and bass scene, in the music world, you've got like people that are constantly going to be wanting things from you. So like, for like you, and I've got to say his name right, Andromedic, even up to Subfocus, Dimension, all these people, like, who's looking after those people? Because when you are like a smaller artist, it kind of gives you a little bit more breathing room to be able to go and rest and recuperate. How do you deal with that? Like, when you, I'm guessing, have people constantly needing things from you,
Yeah, that has been a struggle in the past, for sure. Especially if you're like me, working in a niche within a niche within a niche, and every bit of support means so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the single thing that I've done that's made the biggest difference is turn off notifications across all devices on every app.
Yeah.
So, like, unless you're my fiance Olivia, like, you just can't get in touch with me unless
Bye.
I actively am looking at that app.
Yeah.
Because the more time I have to work right now, the more beneficial it is for kind of everyone that I'm working with, who are, you know, being involved with different projects and being able to benefit financially from that, or whether it's just the experience or
Yeah.
whatever. My time is valuable and limited, and I know that. But equally, I also know that other people's time is valuable and limited. So I respect, you know, the boundaries that other people have in place. Some people don't have any like rules at all about, and they're just happy to reply to a message whenever, and that's fine. But for me, I'm having to set certain boundaries. Like time wise, I kind of have to be a bit more flexible. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
talking to people in Australia and they've just woken up. Sometimes I'm talking to people in America, and you know, these discussions occasionally just have to happen at weird times of day. That's okay.
Yeah.
But if I'm busy, if I'm working on something, at least now I don't get interrupted by the buzzing of my phone or the notification of an email. Like I can just work until the task is finished, and then I can look at the app. Like that's how it was for me when I was growing up. You had to go check your email, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm
You
used
had
to
to
that.
physically log on. I remember the days being abroad and going to an internet cafe to check my
Exactly.
MySpace. Like,
Yeah. Physically had to consciously go to a place to check though, and I would prefer it to be like that,
me too.
at least for the time being, because yeah, things are going well and I don't want to interrupt that flow if I can.
No, that's fair. You've set boundaries. And I think so. There is another way that people do it where I personally do it. I've got my personal phone, I've got my work phone. So, like anything to do with base and boundaries, I've had to migrate it off my personal phone because I find myself constantly scrolling. And so, if you take the work element away, it's actually quite nice to just have like my group chat message me and it not be someone else.
That's
And
cool. Yeah.
yeah, and it's nice because then you've got that complete separation. And I think that's really healthy to be able to say, well, my phone could potentially, if I let it, keep going off. So I have to put it on that. My phone's always on do not disturb it. It's never probably off it, to be fair. So
Yeah,
I understand that.
for me, it's actually quite difficult to do that. Like I did think about getting a work phone, and I think I probably still should.
You should.
But
Yeah.
my personal and work life are so entwined.
Mm.
Like I work with my friends, and
I love
the
that.
people I work with have become my friends,
Yeah.
and people know me as Will and as Keeno, and sometimes as both. So having that separation actually can be quite harmful sometimes. Like, is this a work discussion or is this a personal discussion? It doesn't really matter. People just want to talk to me. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't really want to have an extra device and an extra set of logins and an extra set of this, like if I can. But at the same time, I think it's more of a mental distinction for me anyway. Like I'm better at saying this can wait
Yeah.
than I was, let's say, 2-3 years ago. So
I get that. And I think that's the thing that a lot of artists they do have to kind of prioritize what's right in their life. And you know, like I get a lot of people message me all the time where, you know, I want to come on the podcast. And the thing is, I'm booked up till nearly the end of August now. And it's like, well, it's not going to be till September. And sometimes you feel like they're quite pushy. Like, but I want to come on. I'm like, yep, but you have to set boundaries early on, otherwise people will. I'm sort of an ex-people pleaser, so I have to kind of be, and I feel guilty. Do you ever feel guilty about letting people down, or do you just go, no, I value my time so much, I have to set those boundaries?
a bit of both. It depends on who I'm speaking to, is the short answer. My schedule's kind of planned through till June 2028.
Wow, that's some organization.
And it's not in stone, like things can move.
Of course they can. Yeah.
That's how I have to live my life. Otherwise, you know, it's having a roadmap helps reduce the amount of anxiety about what's next.
Yeah.
And so if I can remove the choice paralysis about what's next, then decisions start to become easier because their path starts to build itself before you even get there.
Of course.
I've done just wing it, and I've done obsessively plan every minute and every detail. And the sweet spot is somewhere in between, where you have like some long-term goals and some short-term goals and a sprinkling of panic. But yeah, the magic formula is learning how to navigate somewhere in the middle where
Yeah.
you're like, organized and on time, and you've got things in the diary, but equally you can be flexible and have space for people who aren't so flexible. Like there are people that I work with who are just so busy that you have to be flexible, and that's fine.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely fine. And yeah, that's just how life works sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, I mean, I did an interview with Duxty and B. I did one with him. He's in Australia. I was in New Zealand, but yeah, he's like hours and hours in front, and it's like he was on a fixed time, so I had to make myself flexible. So yeah, that makes perfect sense why people would do that. So with you having basically your own label, how have you found that as opposed to being under somebody else's label?
I mean, it's a lot more responsibility for sure,
Mhm.
and it can be overwhelming with the amount of work that needs to be done. But at the same time, it's been really rewarding, because the process of releasing your music is not set in stone,
Yeah,
or finite. Your creativity is the limit.
yeah, exactly.
And so shedding the templates and structure of a label, any
Mm.
label, it doesn't have to be one that you're exclusively signed to, or one that you're just dipping in for a single. Like shedding all of that and being able to build your structure yourself and your processes yourself has been so rewarding, because it's enabled me to be more close to my art and
Mm.
shorten the amount of time between music being finished and it being released, for some songs. And for others, it's allowed me to revisit ideas that I thought were dead and gone, but actually were totally relevant. Like a prime example from my latest album, is Read My Mind, the first track on the album.
Yeah.
There's parts of that track which are years old, but
I was gonna
it
say,
doesn't matter. Like the music is relevant whether it's new or old. It's just the
absolutely.
format in which it's released and presented to the public matters just as much. And if the song is good, it's going to be relevant always.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about your latest album because I've had a listen, and I was going to ask you how you managed to get all of those tracks out, because that is impressive. Like you see an album, it's got like, like an EP or whatever, but I was like, wow, there's 2 discs. Like that's impressive. Like what
Mm.
what was the tell me about, like, and tell our listeners like about the sort of what made you go, I'm going to do it like this.
Um, in the first point of discussion about doing an album at all with myself and with other people around me, it didn't feel right to just do what I'd done before. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, if it's not going to be a 6-track EP, and if it's not going to be a 10 to 14 track album, then what is it going to be? Is it going to be a 2-hour set? Is it going to be a live performance, a live album? Is it going to be an acoustic album? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And so we had to start from I had to start from the very beginning and work out what makes my music special
Yeah.
and different, and what makes it stand out. And those things to me were the orchestral classical side, which is self-evident. But the other side is the contrast in the music, the way it can go from a nice tranquil beginning to a euphoric drop, or from light to dark, literally in subject matter. And so that like dichotomy emerged quite naturally. And then I started sorting tracks into piles of roughly lighter stuff and then roughly darker stuff. And I was like, hang on a minute, I could just, it kind of came quite naturally. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, how would I think about artwork? What would I do in terms of the visual identity around this album? Well, if it's light dark, then I'm going to need contrast in that as well.
Mm.
So again, my Keeno music branding of yellow and black, which is basically as maximum contrast as you can get, lended itself quite
Absolutely.
well to that design. And I was like, okay, well, this feels quite natural now. And I have light bulbs as well as my part of my branding. So I think it just kind of it fell into place really naturally, which is the best way. It can sometimes, if you're working with especially major labels, it can feel like that you have to generate a narrative after the music has been written,
Yeah.
and then kind of sell a product. I'm not having to do that. Like, this
No.
is literally just me unfiltered, like there is no marketing overarching story that I'm trying to sell you. Like, this is just my music, as authentic as it can possibly be. It was written in this room, and there's a copy on vinyl right there that's going to go out to someone. so like there is no layer of like showmanship, or maybe like magic trickery or anything of sleight of hand. Like, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with the audience and with everyone, because I think people are kind of fed up with being lied to, and
Yep.
and also kind of fed up with the status quo, and
Absolutely.
and being told that they don't matter. But in my opinion, everyone matters. Of course they do. And one's individual journey is the only thing that matters in your life. So
Absolutely.
if you can shed any part of the rigmarole of general life and find joy in listening to an hour's worth of light dark music, then freaking go for it. If you're the kind of person that needs to just go for a hike or a mountain bike ride and stick on a mix, then
Yeah.
don't be afraid to just go and do that thing if it makes you happy.
Absolutely. Like, I probably have that as my, like when I have the little 15-second promo, that's probably going to be it, because that is just so what people need to hear. I remember when I first listened, I listened to I Live, I Learn, and it's so different and unique, and I crave that within music, because a lot of things, and I say it how it is, really, a lot of things sound the same now. Like, in the age of, it's easy to just, so I had it weeks
There's a reason
ago.
for that. There's many
I
reasons.
know,
But
I
there is
know.
a reason for that.
There is a reason for it, and I interviewed someone weeks ago, and they said it's never been so easy to make a drum and bass track, and it sat with me for weeks, because I personally don't do it. I've never produced, but I've tried, not done very well with it. But like, because I admire people that do, because it's such an art. And I think that with the rise of AI kind of coming in and causing a bit of a stigma, and nowadays you don't there was I saw a TikTok of this guy, there's an artist, and he's absolutely like in cahoots with Diplo, and they're having this big thing because Diplo uses AI, and he's like, well, I'm earning millions, oh well. And it's like, what is your take on AI? I'd love to know what your take is, because I always ask everyone.
Well, I don't use any AI tools, firstly.
You can tell. First and foremost, you can tell you don't.
I think the closest you could come is from like background removal tools on Canva.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when it comes to music, everything that I make is made by hand. It's either recorded by me on my own piano or my own guitar, or it's programmed using MIDI and VST instruments.
Yeah.
Or samples. There is no generative process using AI in my music. And the same goes for my business plans or my marketing schedules or the graphic design that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be myself. I don't want to be like asking an entity that was trained on stolen data what their opinion is on it. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is authenticity.
Yeah.
What matters is emotional content and intent. And what matters is language. Because what these large language models have done is obfuscate the actual process of writing itself, and
Absolutely.
they've removed a lot of the thinking and decision making from millions of people worldwide, and it's quite damaging, in my opinion, to rely on such a tool to do basic tasks that you could do yourself. You are robbing yourself of learned experience, and you are robbing yourself of memorable experiences. And in exchange, you are giving all of your data and your intent and your language to a company who doesn't care about you. You're just a number on a screen, and they will willingly sacrifice you and your resources and your freedom in order to make themselves richer.
Absolutely.
So if you don't understand that, then maybe drum and bass isn't for you.
It's data harvesting, isn't it?
I mean, it's more than that. It's robbery.
So there was an artist that I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but they ran themselves through. They checked whether it was Mosey. Mosey had checked whether his music had been trained in AI, and his music was, and
Yeah,
there was no permission.
No, mine 14 tracks have been used so far.
You're joking. What? So what? I'm starting to get my head around it all. So like, do they use it for things like Suno and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
That's
not sure.
Plagiarism.
Yes. Absolutely.
Massively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if someone wanted to license my content for AI training, then firstly, I probably would say no.
Absolutely.
Unless it was for something educational. But even then, I probably would set aside a specific piece of music that was created in order to be trained on,
Yeah.
instead of letting it use my released discography, which is being actively monetized.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's stealing. And although there's not really anything I can do about that right now, I hope that legislation in the future will protect this from happening again.
Absolutely.
And the unfortunate thing is that how easy music is to access and how readily available it is has also been the weakness of the integrity and security of all of this music. It's very easy to just download music from Spotify. They have an API, so it's very easy to harvest this data. If it was made more difficult, then perhaps it wouldn't have been so widespread. But it matters not. The data was going to get harvested up, whether it cost nothing or whether it cost billions. So the only real unfortunate thing here is that people like Mosey and people like me were not compensated for that harvesting of data.
Yeah.
And the way it was obtained is and will be illegal. So I hope the people that do that get to be brought to justice one day.
I think so.
But I hardly doubt it at this point.
See, I do. And I think because there's such an uproar with it all now, there are people that obviously they have their businesses and they're using like AI generated posters and that sort of thing. But when it comes to the music side of things, there is such an uproar. I had it a couple of weeks ago. I had a guy follow me. Well, he didn't follow me. He followed I had about 500 followers at this point on Instagram, all 500 of my followers. And because it said such and such D&B, people were messaging me, even my mom. And my mom was like, do you know this guy? And I've like never seen him in my life. And I was getting message after message after message. So this guy purchased followers. So I messaged him directly and I was like, dude, like you've got 22,000 people that you are following. You've got like 2,000 people following you back. What's the crack here? You haven't followed me. So he's used an AI software to basically do that. But also his music was completely AI. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Sorry. Like, no, not interviewing somebody that's an AI generated, because it's an insult for me anyway. Like I will always back artists because you guys I've witnessed it. I've sat with somebody producing a track and I'm like, for me, it's lines on the screen. And I'm like, how you put that down is incredible. And the fact that your stuff is effectively being plagiarized, but you're still showing up anyway. Like, I have so much respect for that.
Well, let's not forget that Spotify itself was founded on stolen data.
I didn't know that, but I'm interested to know about it.
Spotify was someone's idea, and then they went to the 3 major record labels and said, "Oh, please, can we have a copy of your library?" And 3 majors said no.
Oh, okay.
And then Spotify went away and said, "Okay, well, how do we build a proof of concept that people are going to want to use so that we can generate investment to scale?" And so they stole the music instead, and they pirated everything, built a platform based on pirated material. This is public knowledge. And then they went back to the 3 majors after they had grown to a certain size and said, "Okay, what about now?" And the majors said, "Sure, we'll license you the content, but we'll take 2/3 of your company. Thank you very much."
Wow. I didn't actually know that. That's interesting to know.
So
But that's
Spotify itself is owned by the 3 major, the majority stake is owned by the 3 majors. And so, yeah, the control that Daniel Ek and all these founders have is pretty minimal, to be honest.
That's crazy. I think that there was something you said in that springs to light. Like, to be someone, you've got to be big and fabulous, and people won't take little people. Like, I had an artist agree to do a podcast, and they've got like 2 million followers, and I was like, oh my God. And they said yes, and then they looked at my stats and went, no, you're all right, actually, you're not big enough. And I thought, well, if we don't work together as a community, then why on earth are we doing this? Because I've noticed there's become quite a big divide. Like, you've got the community based of D&B, and then you've got the people that are like, well, I'm above all of you, I'm earning millions of pounds, like, go away, sort of thing. And I find that really sad. We're supposed it's in the whole music industry, isn't it? Like, so it's very refreshing to talk to people that have had success, but they're still humble enough to know that they've come from nothing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand fully. The music industry makes you do weird things, and some people just lose themselves in that. Unfortunately, they lose their humanity a little bit.
Do you think that's due to just the money or the control that comes from the record labels?
I think it's just self-indulgent behavior. I think it's just people getting high on their own, like,
their ego.
Yeah, exactly. The adoration, like, it makes you feel like you're more important than everyone else.
I find that really sad.
Yeah, exactly. No one's more important than anyone else. I just happen to have an audience and happen to make music that people like. And I work hard at making sure that people can listen to and enjoy and come and experience my music in real life. And that's what makes my living. If I made music that people didn't like, then I probably would just go get another job. It probably wouldn't stop me from making music. It'd probably be discouraging. It'd be sad, but it probably wouldn't stop me from making music if people suddenly stopped liking my stuff. Like, I make music because it makes me feel good, not because I can make money from it. The monetary side of it also isn't like, I don't make a fortune. I don't live in a mansion. I don't go on 3-5 holidays a year, and I just have a calm and lovely life in Bristol that I'm very proud of. And I've got a group of friends who work their asses off too, that still show up and support me, and I have an amazing team around me at Keeno Music, from my label manager, Ben, who dips in and out in between his ridiculously busy schedule being a recruitment officer. And I've got a sound engineer, I've got Jess Violet, who is head of Beaver Strings, and my fiance, and AJ, and Steve, and Pete, and all of these people that really matter to me.
Yeah.
And so all I really care about is being able to continue to do what I do, and be happy whilst I do it.
There you go. What do you think will be next for you in terms of like your plans, and where do you see yourself in a couple of years' time?
It's hard to say right now. I know that I don't want to run a massive company. That's for sure. I don't want to have employees, particularly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want to stress about having to, please shareholders or anything like that. And so my choices are probably spread laterally rather than vertically.
Okay.
And that means geographically, probably. Doing events of a certain size, like 400-ish cap, and just seeing how many different places we can do that.
Nice.
So I'm exploring tours in Canada, in Australia, New Zealand, in Europe and the UK right now. And the all of those tours will be Keeno Music branded and Keeno Music organized, and they'll be in-house. So, that's something I never thought would be possible, but hopefully in a couple of years, I will have done all of those things and have a touring company by then. And music wise, there's already a few things in the pipeline on the label. We've got Piano Drum Bass Volume 2 dropping early next year.
Oh, lovely.
And Violet has her EP dropping at the end of this year. And so I don't have that much pressure to generate loads of new music for myself and for my own. Right now, I'm just going to let Light Dark run its course. I'll do some remixes or VIPs or different versions potentially. And we'll just see how it goes, really. I'm trying not to set myself too many expectations, and I'm trying not to have, like I said earlier, I planned all the way through till June 2028 anyway, to be honest. So anything beyond that, I'm kind of trying not to think about.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm very happy with how things are going. The events are challenging the status quo, and they're offering a place for people who are into deeper styles, into orchestral and musical styles. They're offering them a place to go and be themselves and not have to worry about it being super oversold and super busy and sardine-y, and the crowd's not aggy and everyone's super nice, and my fiance is going to scan you in on the door, and I'll be, it's an actual community of people who care about one another. And if you want to come on your own, then there'll be a bunch of people there who you probably already recognize anyway. And if you don't, then they'll introduce themselves and they'll make you feel very welcome. And you won't see artists like Sota or like Mosey on our lineups, firstly, probably because I can't afford them. But secondly, that's not the style of music I want to champion. That it has a big enough platform, it reaches enough people.
Absolutely.
What doesn't reach enough people is what you're doing, what I'm doing, what all of the people who are featured on your channel doing, what maybe your audience are trying to do. Like, that's what needs exposure, that's what needs a light shone on it. So I'm grateful for this chance to just be candid, to be honest.
And me as well.
Not many people probably get to see this side of who I am, and they probably don't even know that I do everything myself now. They probably still think, some people I know still think that I'm a hospital artist,
Okay.
So it takes a while for these pieces of news to disseminate through all the
travel.
And so it's important that I get to reach out to people like you and to your audience and vice versa. So
no, I genuinely appreciate it as well, because when you've got quite a decent following. So when I said, I have reached out to people before with similar followers, they're like, nah, you're all right, mate. So when these things happen and someone says yes, it's I'm very humbled and very, very grateful, because it's people giving you a chance, because people think that you have nothing. And I personally want to say thank you so much, not only for coming on, but also the music as well, because it's helped my mental health, and I know it helps other people as well. So I always ask people on a podcast, how has music helped your mental health?
Immeasurably, I guess, is the short answer. The longer answer is that music is like therapy for me.
Yeah.
I've written a song called Therapy for that reason. It's like hypnosis, it's like meditation, it's like over focusing on something and distracting yourself from what's going around.
Yeah.
And it's everything in between. It's excitement, it's grief, it's, you know, learning and experience. It can be your happiest memory, it could accompany your saddest memory. Music is the, you know, the thing that makes me get up in the morning and really want to connect with other people. Like there's nothing else that I do or that I know of that makes me want to speak and reach out in this way. Like I wouldn't be chatting to someone about, you know, like freaking politics this candidly and with this much interest. Yes, it's relevant, but music is my passion.
Yeah.
And without that, my mental health would be non-existent. I'd just be a boring old sod who lives in freaking Bristol with their cat, you know. But I'm not that person. I am free and I'm autonomous and I'm independent because of music.
Absolutely.
And because of the people who have purchased tickets to come see me and purchase my albums and watch these videos like this. Hi everyone. Like that's what matters to me. And so yeah, I value music above all else.
And you, like I say, you've just hit it nail on the head, because it is I'm the same. It's the driving force behind my everyday, like getting to do these interviews every day. I look forward to it and I get this like buzz afterwards that you just like, wow, I've just spoke to the most amazing person, and I always learn something every single time, and it's invaluable. So just keep doing what you're doing, and you've got an event coming up near me in Nottingham shortly, haven't you, which is good, probably most likely to be incredible. So
yeah, if you are interested in following me, I guess this is a good opportunity to let you know where you can get all of the information.
Yeah, sure.
Your first point of call is definitely keenomusic.com. I do everything on my website. You can even buy tickets there natively on my website now.
That's awesome.
Cool. And then from there, you're going to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, YouTube. I don't really post that much on TikTok, but I sometimes send off short form content distributed off there. But essentially, my website is going to be the place where it is guaranteed to be most updated. We've got Nottingham at the end of August, middle of August, which hasn't been announced yet, but maybe by the time this video is going out, it might be.
Yeah, most likely.
We've got Manchester on the 3rd of October, and as we're recording this, there's only 6 tickets left. So if you're lucky, you might get one.
Wow.
We're doing London on the 28th of November at Village Underground. I've got a full quartet there with my custom grand piano, the full works. And there's like 250 tickets left for that show. So that will sell out too, hopefully. And then looking into next year, I'm exploring Bristol, Brighton, Paris, and Amsterdam right now. Amsterdam's a kind of question mark. It might be Rotterdam, it might be someone else, but we'll get there eventually. And fingers crossed, it will all work out and go to plan, and I can put tickets on sale for all these shows as soon as possible, as soon as they're confirmed. And as ever, if you're like desperate for the news and you want things the minute it drops, the best thing to do is to just email me, will@keenomusic.com, and I'll add you to my Instagram close friends. And all those people get the news 24 hours early. So
oh, go on, add me as well then.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just keen about Nottingham. I'm like, come on, like, because that's literally what, 30 minutes from my house, so that's where I'm from as well, so I know like the back of my hand. So it's always nice to go back home, and especially when there's something like this, it's amazing. And Nottingham deserves more drum and bass. Like Emily Mackis is from Notts, and you know, we always have a little bit of a laugh, like Notts crew and all that, but you know, there needs to be more, because I think you Bristol, like you've took the crown for the drum and bass world. So
well, if you're around Nottingham area, I'm going to send out a shout out to the Interstellar Audio crew, who are Nottingham-ish based, Midlands based.
Yeah.
Russ and the Interstellar Audio crew, big up. They are doing monthly events on Thursdays.
Amazing.
In Nottingham. They're free, and
Wow.
and it's like deeper techie side coupled with some liquid DJs, and it's at the chapel. Russ also does events in other towns with Interstellar Audio, and most of it's kind of Midlands to North based. They do collabs with stuff like Detonate. So if you want some fresh releases and some fresh events, Interstellar Audio for you.
I've definitely just followed them. That's amazing. Thank you for that. And no, I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for, you know, taking time out your busy schedule for the next couple of years to talk to me. So thank you.
No, it's all good. I've got a slightly more boring afternoon with my accountant, unfortunately.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, we have to talk about VAT registration. Woo!
I know there's all this digital stuff that's changing. Even as a sole trader, I'm a bit like, oh.
Yeah, I'm a sole trader, so like I'm not a limited company yet. Like, you know, I'm not doing millions of pounds a year. I don't need to do all of this kind of stuff. But it's boring.
Yeah, this whole make tax digital, and I'm like, mate, I can never find my receipts. How are you expecting me to chuck it all online all the time? Like, yeah, that's what accountants are for. Really? Oh, thank you so much, lovely.
Yeah, it's been lovely to talk to you. Thanks for your time, Amy. And if you need anything else, just give me a shout.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bass and Boundaries. Check me out on Burton Radio for the B2B takeover. And also, if you're in a position to support the channel, I would really appreciate it. You can find all the details in the description. Thank you.